But I hope everybody is having a fabulous day. You have taken time, invested time to join us here on Ask Doc Live. So we are so glad to have you here. If you have any questions about anything that you hear today on today's show, make sure that you get back with the person that invited you. And if you were not invited by anybody specific, you found the show all on your own, you can go to AskDocLive.com and use the contact us, and one of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you. This program is being sponsored and brought to you by AskDocLive.com. And my name is Rebecca Dukes. So apologize for that little hiccup as I'm reading something somebody threw up on the screen. I need to focus, Doc. You're going to tell me what I need for focusing, right? In a minute. But everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Wherever you are at, we are so excited that we are able to reach all around the world and have people plugging in and really seeking out natural alternatives to help them reach optimal health goals. And through that, we've got to really be intentional on what we put in our mouth, what we put around us in our environment. And I can't think of a better man to do that than somebody that was decades as a pathologist looking at what went in, what was the result on the inside that caused no longer breathing on the outside. So I hope you guys are ready, because we've got 2 wonderful hours packed full of information. I am joined with my co-hosts, Dr. Judy Reynolds, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Jonty McCollier, Nasima Omar, and Heather Bowen. And if you are on with us live here on Zoom, make sure that you turn your chat on, because they're going to be putting valuable information in the chat that you will be able to follow along with, get the spellings of specific different products. Dr. Wallach references something. They're really good at helping put that reference in the chat so that you can see it again, because we're working on getting Doc to talk just a little bit slower. Okay, he heard that. He has really good hearing. And I know that we do too, but we don't listen as fast as he talks. So without further ado, the content of this program is to provide educational information on the importance of nutrition and supplementation. And why? Because our food supplies are becoming more and more null and void of the essential nutrients that our body needs in order to survive. And you're going to hear from the great doctor, Dr. Joel Wallach, that minerals are not evenly dispersed throughout the world. So no matter where you're at, if you're eating the same food as your brother and he lives across the country, you're going to have different nutrients going in the body. And that's why this man has put together formulas that consistently, without having to think about it on our side, which I greatly appreciate, the nutrients going into my body daily so that my cells are getting what they need to have optimal performance. Now, if you are on any type of medication, we encourage you to work with your primary care physician, because as you get on a quality supplementation program, the cells are going to become healthier. They will be absorbing better. The pharmaceuticals that you're getting, chances are they're going to need to be adjusted, but we encourage you to work with your doctor and let them see what the benefits of quality supplementation can do in your health. Because like us, they should be interested in making sure that you have optimal health, that you are achieving wellness and not sick management, folks. But if you are pregnant, nursing, or taking medications, again, consult your healthcare professional, even before starting a supplement program. Now, the good doctor that we have with us today, Dr. Joel Wallach, he has been instrumental in suing the FDA many times with many victories that have led to the addition of vital nutrients into even baby formula. Prior to that, you heard about sudden infant death syndrome quite often, also known as crib death. And babies weren't even in their cribs, but I'm not going to steal his story. We'll let him tell you about that. So we are excited to be able to tell you that there is hope and that the genetic theory has been proven to be incorrect, that what we put in our mouths, like I said earlier, affects what the outcome is because it affects how our genes are expressed. And this is proven through the science of epigenetics. And Dr. Joel Wallach is one of the founding fathers of this science. In fact, he even has received awards from the United Nations, from Klaus Schwartz, on his findings and his lifetime achievements in his research. So any testimonials on this program, they're not solicited, they're all voluntary. We do not pay anybody to come forward and provide any type of testimonial. It's all done on their own accord. And people love to do that because they do feel the difference. Some supplements, you can take them, and the only thing that you feel or see is the color of your urine changing colors. Well, here you will feel the difference. And we request, if you're brand new, give us 90 days. Because we know that in 90 days, you will feel the difference. And to tell us all about that, and I know he always has a great topic that is kind of on the forefront of a lot of people's mind because there's so much pain and breakdown within the body that's out there that people are suffering from. He wants to make sure that he keeps that information on what you yourself can do to either, well, no, we can't say prevent, cure. Anyways, let's go ahead to Ask Doc Live. And I am excited to offer to you time with Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Ask Doc Live.
Well, thank you so very much. I shall try to talk more slowly.
Thank you.
Okay. And of course, today I want to talk deeply about life expectancy in the US and the world. The record in modern times, the record goes back to Jean Calment of France, 1997. She is the longest lived documented person. Okay. She died at 122 years and 164 days in 1997, Jean Calment from France. Now, then you kind of look at other places like the Hunzas in the Himalayan mountains. They have little villages that have maybe 50 people in them and 100 people and that sort of stuff. And according to, all kinds of reporters that have gone there and so forth, we'll get to that a little bit. Some live to be 120 and so forth. And these are people without medical access. They're just eating what they grow in their gardens and so forth. So how come somebody in Hunza up in the Himalayan mountains has no pharmacies, no doctors, no health insurance, and they're living to be 120? What's going on? Okay, let's have a quick look at the scorecard here. The United States, we range, depending on who your data you're looking at, to between 75 and 79 years. Okay, right now, the country that has the longest life average is Singapore at 84.8. General practitioners, medical doctors in the United States live to be an average of 80.3. Surgeons in America, medical doctors, live to be 79. Emergency room doctors in America live to be 58.7. Why is that? Well, emergency room doctors' diet sucks. It's, you know, there's the only way I can say it. They live on nothing but fast foods and soft drinks and so forth. And then they go home and drink whiskey. They're eating gluten and so forth. And they really, really don't have a good diet because of their schedules and all this kind of stuff. They don't pay attention to those details. They mostly don't take vitamins and minerals. They think it's stupid. And so they give up at least 25 years of their life, okay, by eating the way they eat and drinking the way they drink. All right. So let's go on a little bit here and look at the scorecard. When you look at, again, you look at the United States, our average lifespan or life expectancy is 75 to 79. You look at let's look at Australia, it's 82.9. You look at New Zealand, it's 82.3. You look at Japan, it's 84.7. You look at Canada, Canada is 84. You look at China, it's 76. You look at the UK, which is England, Scotland, and Ireland combined. They live to be, it's too light, I have to put a darker print here. They live to be 81, okay. Russia lives to be 72. South Africa lives to be 63. All right, and so I don't know if that's the white and the black population, if that's the black population only or the white population only. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. And then let's see here. Let's look at Italy. Okay, Italy, they live to be 83. And Mexico lives to be 77, and Ukraine lives to be 71. Let's see here. Egypt lives to be 71. Germany lives to be 81.26, and Spain lives to be 82. And the Hunzas, these little villages, they claim, because they say they have records and so forth, but to be 120. That's one of the first big longevity stories in the various scientific journals and so forth. They sent reporters from the New York Times to go to Hunzas because they're claiming all these long lives. And they said, yeah, it's actually true because they looked at the records and so forth. And if the records were correct, then they did live to be 120. Okay. And so why is that? They didn't have doctors, so they can't say it's the doctors. They can't say it's the medication. So what's going on here? Well, it's because of the minerals from the volcanoes. Okay, and the Himalayan mountains are legendary for having so many volcanoes. All right. Now, life expectancy, we already talked about that briefly. And so, let's see here. Albania is 111. Argentina is 115. Okay. Now, this the cost. Okay, and I'll run through this quickly because I've done this maybe once a month, but I think it's worth saying again. The cost of healthcare in each country is very high. And we're talking about medical doctors and insurance and pharmacy and so forth. In the USA, Alzheimer's disease, we spend $305 billion a year just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure. Arthritis, we spend $626.8 billion just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure. Diabetes, we spend $342 billion a year just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure. Heart disease, there's many of those, 15, 20, $316.8 billion just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure the disease. Obesity, $260 billion just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure. Cancer, I was surprised it's so low. It's $208.9 billion. I think that's because people with a really severe aggressive cancer don't live very long, whereas somebody with arthritis, 626.8 billion, like we're talking about 3 times as much for arthritis as for cancer. That's because they don't live very long when they have aggressive cancer. Okay, high blood pressure is 131 billion. MS, multiple sclerosis, very simple nutritional deficiency disease, 85 billion just to treat the symptoms. Asthma in kids under the age of 10, very simple nutritional deficiency, 80 billion a year just to treat the symptoms. That's just the USA. Kidney disease, kidney dialysis, 24 billion just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure. Okay, now, with all that said, let's look at the way things kind of work here. Okay. One of my favorites is osteoporosis. And osteoporosis and arthritis are sort of the same disease. Arthritis is osteoporosis of the joints. And then you have osteoporosis of the long bones. You get fractured, you go down the steps, you fracture your leg, and they put you in a cast or give you a hip replacement or knee replacement, maybe even cut your leg off and give you an artificial leg or so forth. Well, osteoporosis, when you combine the three countries that are very closely related, the US, Canada, and the EU, European Union, we go back a long time. We're all kind of the same brothers and sisters. Each year we spend, just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, not to prevent or cure it, 6.5 trillion. 6.5 trillion. Okay, so our part, let's say it's only 1/3, is 2.2 trillion to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis in the United States, and to treat arthritis is 626.8 billion. And we're talking a lot of money here just to treat nutritional deficiency diseases, when if you ate correctly and took the 90 essential nutrients, even if you spend $100 a month, okay, on supplements because your body weight, that's like $1,200 a year to add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life. That's kind of worth it. Okay. So when you look at common diseases of osteoporosis of the skull, and doctors don't know you get osteoporosis of the skull. They only like osteoporosis from here down because they can give you surgeries and operations to replace your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, the carpal tunnel syndrome, your fingers, and so forth. Same thing with your vertebrae. They love osteoporosis from here down. Same way with your hips and your knees, and your ankles, and your leg bones, and so forth. Joint replacements, limb replacements. They love that. So why don't they recognize osteoporosis of the skull? Because they'd have to cut off your head and give you a head replacement if they were treating you the same way they did everywhere else for osteoporosis. Well, osteoporosis of the skull, there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. They get squeezed by the skull when you get it. And of course, the spinal cord gets squeezed. All these are formed in the brain and come out through these little tunnels. And when you get osteoporosis, the skull gets thicker, okay, from connective tissue, not from normal bone, but from connective tissue, and it squeezes these nerves. You squeeze cranial nerve number 1, you lose your sense of smell. You squeeze cranial nerve number 2, you get optic nerve atrophy, and you slowly lose your vision. You get cranial nerve number 3, you get ptosis. Your pupil does not respond to light. Let's see here. 4, cranial nerve number 4, you get double vision and palsy, pain around your eyes and so forth. Trigeminal neuralgia, that's the 5th cranial nerve being squeezed. Terrible pain around your face, your eyes, your upper lip, and so forth. Cranial nerve number 6 gets squeezed, you get double vision and strabismus. Cranial nerve number 7, you get Bell's palsy. It can be on one side or both. 7th cranial nerve gets squeezed, your face droops. And then cranial nerve number 8, you get tinnitus, ringing in the ears. It's the auditory branch. And the vestibular branch, you get vertigo, Meniere's disease, and deafness, and so forth. Cranial nerve number 9 being squeezed, you get loss of gag reflex, lose your sense of taste. You don't talk very well, you lose your ability to talk. That's the glossopharyngeal nerve, number 9. Number 10, you get gastroparesis when it gets squeezed. I mean, terrible pain. And doctors want you to believe that's due to a gastric ulcer and they want to do surgery and take out half your stomach. No, it's just pain because of the 10th cranial nerve being squeezed, gastroparesis. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it's the a branch of the 10th cranial nerve, okay, being squeezed causes problems with your diaphragm. Let's see here, AFib, atrial fibrillation, you get your heart jumps around and they say, oh my gosh, you got a heart rhythm problem. They're going to go ahead and anesthetize you, cut you open, take your heart out and touch it with a hot branding iron, hoping to find a place where it's causing the problem so they can do what's called an ablation. They take a hot branding iron and they put it on your chest to cure that spot, not your chest, on your heart. And so it has a very high mortality rate. Do not agree to the process of putting the hot branding iron on your heart. Okay. And then let's see here. Let's see, cranial nerve number 11, loss of the trapezius muscle. You can't raise your arms. Let's see here. Cranial nerve number 12 gets squeezed. Atrophy of the tongue. Your tongue doesn't work very well. You can't speak. When you put that with the cranial nerve number 9, you can't communicate at all. The spinal cord being squeezed from your skull down. There's 17 different diseases from the neck down that are caused by osteoporosis of the skull. Babies are born with osteoporosis of the skull. They have Erb's palsy. They're paralyzed from the neck down. And doctors mistake it for cerebral palsy, but it is Erb's palsy. Wallach's fibrosis is what we call it, from the neck down. All of these things are totally reversible when you get off all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, brown, rye oats, no, let's see here, no sugar, no peanuts, and absolutely no carbonated drinks, because the carbonation neutralizes your stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals, or you cannot digest food. Okay, so I urge you to pay attention. Get the book and the CD. Get the book and the CD. It's called "It's All in Your Head." The book and CD deals with all these cranial nerve things in the spinal cord, 37 different diseases. It's all in your head. The book and the CD. You will be able to help your family, your church mates, your workmates, and neighbors, and so forth. It'll blow your mind. Okay, I think I know that Rebecca has a lot of stuff, so I'm going to quit there. Okay, and turn it over to Rebecca, because I've got pages and pages. I could go further, but let's just go with Rebecca here and see what we can do.
Well, you could go on and on and on, and it would take even longer than normal, because you did a great job speaking slower, Dr. Wallach. Thank you so much. I get a lot of emails saying, please have him speak a little slower. Even on the replay, it's hard to write that fast. And I have to admit, Dr. Wallach, because I do plug in and I do listen to you on other shows. When I'm trying to write, I write really fast, and I do shorthand because I've been listening to you for so long, and even I miss stuff. So I appreciate you slowing down a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, everybody, I hope you are excited as I am. And I just want to say thank you to the people that are on this Zoom and the community that's created, because there was a question that was asked in the comments that I wasn't able to interrupt Dr. Wallach to address. And that's, how do I raise my hand? So thank you so much, Josie and Robert, for stepping up, and Ruth Ellen for giving the instructions to help her get her hand up, because I do see it's raised now. And we have several hands, Dr. Wallach, that are raised, and these hands are being raised because they have questions for Dr. Wallach. So if you have questions for Dr. Wallach, go to the reactions in the Zoom menu if you're on live with us, and you will see the little button that says raise hand. Now, as we're getting ready to call you, I'm going to send a little request to unmute. And if you could unmute, and if you're able to come on with camera, that would be absolutely fabulous. And hopefully you don't have a whole lot of background noise, because Dr. Wallach has very good hearing. He hears everything. He wants to focus on your question and not be distracted by anything else. So with that being said, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the first hand that is up. And Robert, you also put your question in the chat to myself, and I thank you so much for doing that. That way, if we have any type of connection issues, I can go ahead and ask the question, and go ahead and unmute yourself.
I have.
Okay.
There you go. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you. Doc, I have an 18-year-old daughter. She's 5'6", 185 pounds, but she has polycystic ovaries and non-symmetric development, both muscular and in her breast on the right side. It's not to the level of disability, but she's, there's measurable strength difference, and she's D cup on the left side and only an A on the right.
Mhm.
So we've sought hormone treatment, gone to naturopaths. It helped with regulating menstruation, but she still deals with polycystic
Breast
ovary
issue.
pain. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Let's see here. Does she have any other issues? Does she have any diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, back problems?
Blood work has been good. I mean, this is
Okay.
the quandary we're in.
Okay. All right. So the first thing, again, just for our general listenership, and she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods. Okay. No air frying, no deep frying, no pan frying, no fried foods. Absolutely no oils, no salad dressings, no cooking oils.
Hmm.
Okay. Absolutely no processed meats. No bacon, no ham, no salami, bologna, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, hot dogs, all that's got to go because the chemicals in there. Then she needs to also stay away from gluten. No wheat, no barley, no rye, no oats. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin, but it's still gluten because it prevents absorption. Your intestines go from a shag rug kind of look, all the finger-like villi sticking up, to a plastic tube look. You lose 98% of your absorptive surface in your intestines when you're eating gluten. No gluten. Then I also want her to give up sugar, and then absolutely no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. The diet drinks, they've got to go because carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, which is necessary to absorb minerals and digest food.
Hmm.
Okay, so no carbonation even in diet drinks. Then at her body weight, I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. And of course, a healthy brain and heart pack are these 3 canisters. Okay, it's Beyond Tangy Tangerine has 215 nutrients in it. Okay, and then we have the Beyond OsteoFX. Okay, and then we have the collagen peptides. Okay, so I want her to take a dosage as it's on the label. It'll tell her how to do the proper dosage. Okay, of those 3 products, and then I also want her to have the Xerafem. I want to take 3 of those twice a day. Xerafem, XERA-FEM, Xerafem. It's the raw materials the ovaries require to be able to make estrogen and progesterone and that sort of stuff. Okay, so you're actually giving them proactively the raw materials to make female hormones. Then we also want her to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Okay? Not fried, not hard boiled, but they have to be soft poached. Okay, I have mine soft poached in butter. Okay, I had them this morning. I'm going to have them again this evening. I've been doing that, I don't know, for over 50 years. Okay, and so medical doctors say, no cholesterol, no cholesterol. And they put you on statin drugs to lower your cholesterol. And then everything begins to fall apart because 25% of your brain weight is cholesterol. It's the white matter of the brain. Okay. It gets the white matter of the brain. And then you also have 25% of the weight of your spinal cord is cholesterol. Okay. It's called myelin. And if you're deficient in myelin, you get MS, multiple sclerosis. Oh, you have an autoimmune disease. Your body's attacking the brain. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's a nutritional deficiency because everybody's trying to stay away from cholesterol because the medical doctors made a huge mistake 100 years ago. They falsely made a mistake. They made a mistake believing that cholesterol was the cause of plaque and blockages of your arteries, in your heart, in your brain, and every place else. No, the plaque was caused by heated oils, cooking oils, fried foods, that kind of stuff, not cholesterol. And then they got everybody so scared, everybody's giving up eggs. Oh, eggs are so bad for you. My doctor says blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, I can't eat meat. I'm going to be a vegan. And then they die 25 years early because there's no cholesterol, okay, in a vegan diet. Now, if you have a ovo-lacto diet, okay, for getting eggs and dairy, you need dairy. Well, there's cholesterol in dairy. That's good. That's a good thing. Okay, what's the first food that all mammals, whether you're a whale or a wombat or a kangaroo or a human being or an elephant or a giraffe or a dog or a cat, the first food of every mammal in the world is milk. Milk is not a bad thing. God is not a designer of bad stuff. Okay, so just forget that and be sure you have milk, cheese. I mix cheese in with my eggs, my soft-boiled eggs with butter. You mix cheese in with it or put it on the side, either way. I do it both ways. I like the Baby Bell cheeses. Okay, they're easy to take with me and so forth. And I know what's in them. And so that's kind of the direction I like to go. And let's see here. We already said Xerafem. And let's go there. Okay, let's see here. And Rebecca may have another thing or two to add, but that's where I would start.
Thank you very
I
much.
think you got it, Doc.
Okay, so let's go there and then give us a call, every 30 days because it takes for hormones to, okay. And I want your daughter to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks.
That'll be the challenge. She doesn't like eggs, so we'll see what I can do.
We'll put them in something she likes.
That's good.
Okay. And so here's where you can make a shake out of them, make a milkshake out of it and put the eggs in the milkshake and, blend strawberries in there or something like that or chocolate.
Would you
All right.
still poach them before doing so?
Yeah, I'd still poach them. It's very soft.
So what I would do, I am going to step in on this one, Doc. So what I would do is I would mix up the eggs and whites. I'd have the pan that's already heated like on a 3. We don't want it to sizzle, but you want it to be hot enough that you heat the white part of the egg up enough to neutralize the enzyme that's in there that can mess with the digestive system, but not interfere with the cholesterol that's in the yolk. So once you have that mixed up and you just swirl it around a little bit, then you can pour it into a shaker cup and mix in your shake ingredients. And there's not a whole lot of flavor to that. If you add it to one of our shakes, like the plant-based shake from the Stay Natural line, or our total meal replacement, or our keto shake, it gives the shake a much thicker, creamier taste. So I think that it adds to the flavor and texture when you add the eggs like that. But you're going to be pouring them in before they start to really solidify.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're going to mix it with the shake, don't add the cheese. I'm just want to throw that one out there.
Use milk.
Yep. So anyways, Robert, did you get all your questions answered, my dear?
This is good. It gives us a place to start.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on with us on Ask Doc Live. Dr. Wallach, let's just move right over to the next hand that is up. And as we do that, I just want to remind people that if somebody invited you here specifically and you know of somebody that has conditions or you yourself are experiencing symptoms like one of our people that join us today, one of our guests, get back with the person that invited you to this program and say, hey, Dr. Wallach mentioned a whole lot of stuff. This is what I've got going on. I need to get what he recommended. And you can find the replay to all of our Ask Doc Live programming on AskDocLive.com. Super easy to find. And Dr. Wallach mentioned a couple of his books in his monologue today. You can also find his most popular books on AskDocLive.com. So let's go to the next hand that is up. And Josie, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Good morning.
Morning. How can we help you?
So I have a few questions, and these are for myself. So I'm 53 years old, and I weigh 143 pounds. And so I actually, and I'm 5'4".
Thank you.
So I'm actually right now suffering. I have a couple of things that I have going on. I have lupus, and I'm taking hydroxychloroquine for that. And I also just recently was told they did an EEG about possible seizures. So they put me on the, what is it, the Litromex, Litrogen.
Okay, so you say you have seizures?
I haven't had one that I know of. I know that I've woken up a couple of times thinking there was an earthquake but I couldn't wake up, but I don't, that's never happened. Otherwise, I think maybe I was just dreaming, but my doctor said that, because of what's happened, that I'm prone to them. And I do notice I usually give presentations. I'm very comfortable talking, but when I get nervous or just, and not upset over stress over daily life, but when I'm like angry, I can't talk. I can't talk. I can't put things together. And he's asked me if that happens. And it does happen like over, things that there's, like, so, because sometimes you get stressed over just life things. And then sometimes you get stressed over something that makes you just more, angry for say word. But, and I notice I just can't get the words
Well,
out.
let me ask you a few questions here.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any ringing in your ears, any tinnitus or ringing or buzzing?
What I had a couple of times is where I was laying down and I would be dizzy, like when I turned a certain way, almost like a vertigo. I had that for a little bit of time. And it was when I went to the left side. I was in a car, so another thing I should mention, I was in a car accident to where I had ended up with a cut here and my face hit the side. All this was bruised on the side.
Okay, back up. Did you have any of this dizziness before you were in the car accident?
Yes, I did have some of it, but then it seemed to intensify and I had a mini stroke
Okay.
a month after that.
You had mini strokes?
A TSA, yes, I had a mini stroke and I was at that time, it was in 2017. So I wasn't quite 50 yet, I was at that time.
Okay. So any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, back problems?
Osteoporosis. And I'm active and I feel like I eat, pretty decently. And but I have osteoporosis. I have it full blown, like on my lower back, and I have it coming on my hips. Yes.
Okay, let's stop there a minute. Do you have any receding gums or loose teeth, or did you have any implants put in, or?
I have. Yes.
Okay, so you have implants.
Yeah, I do have, I have crowns. I don't have implants, but yes, I've had issues with my gum. My mother's had it, but I still have my
It's not genetic.
Okay.
Okay. But it's caused by the same thing that causes tinnitus, ringing in the ears, vertigo, balance problems. It's receding gums. It's all caused by the same things. It's called osteoporosis of the skull. Doctors forget about that. The osteoporosis, they don't believe in osteoporosis above the neck. But when you get osteoporosis of your right knee, you get osteoporosis of the skull as well. Okay. But you're going to have the symptoms more marked, more advanced, because let's say you're a truck driver and you're using your right leg all the time on the brakes and the gas pedal, you're going to have osteoporosis symptoms in your right knee and your right hip, because that's where you're doing all your exercise. Okay. But when you have dental problems, receding gums, did you go to an orthodontist as a teenager?
I did. My parents were really good about taking us to the dentist at a really young age. And
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, see, you had osteoporosis as a child of the skull. That's why they took you. That's why they took you to the orthodontist, because your teeth were either twisting or you had pain in your jaw and your face. Okay. Something was going on there, is why they took you to an orthodontist. The orthodontist said, oh yeah, we got to put the braces on and all this stuff and so forth. That's because osteoporosis of the skull, your jaw is part of your skull. Okay. You ever get TMJ stuff, any pain in your joint or your jaw and where the joint is?
I get it. I do get some, like right here. I do feel, and then sometimes I just feel I just have to massage it, but I just,
Yeah, it's called TMJ. Remember, your jaw is part of your skull. So you have osteoporosis of the skull. So here we go. So once you get rid of all the bad stuff, and you'll hear me say this over and over and over and over, because you want to stay away from the bad stuff. No fried foods, no air frying, no deep frying, no pan frying, no frying. Absolutely no oils, no salad dressings, no cooking oils, absolutely no processed meats, no ham or bacon or none of that kind of stuff. No salami, bologna, hot dogs, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, Spam, all that's got to go because of the chemicals. And then you need to stay away from gluten. No wheat, no barley, no rye, no oats, no peanuts. And they all have various terrible things going on that can kill you. I mean, really kill you. And then you need to stay away from sugar, and you need to stay away from carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go because the carbonation is carbonation, whether it's in a diet drink, or beer, it doesn't matter. Carbonation is carbonation. And it neutralizes your stomach acid, so you cannot efficiently absorb minerals or digest food. Very important. Then it's your body weight, which is 140 pounds, correct?
143.
143. Okay, I don't want to.
I just gained.
I don't want to credit. Yeah, I don't want to credit you with that.
I've always been a fat kid. I was always a fat kid when I was a kid. I was a fat kid everywhere. My family, my cousins, I was a fat one. And then I just went through a lot of stress. And then I ended up like at 122.
Okay.
And then just.
All right. So I need you to, again, because of 143 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner, and they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. Bone makes a bone itself. So every bone in your body, whether it's your jaw, your skull, your vertebrae, your ribs, your hips, your knees, your wrists, your arms, your legs, everything will be blessed with getting the nutrients they need to repair and maintain themselves. And I also want you to take the collagen peptides, which are collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. I want you to take a scoop of that with your morning drink, a scoop of that with your evening drink. It's a tasteless powder. Okay, very easy to deal with. I also want you to take the Beyond OsteoFX, take a scoop of that in your morning drink and your evening drink. It's calcium and other minerals that actually support the utilization of calcium. And then I want you to take vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, 3 twice a day. I don't care if you live in the middle of Florida, okay? I don't care where you live, because people, adults, even in places with lots of sun, they will sit in the shade. Okay, so you need 3 vitamin D3 capsules twice a day.
May I mention something? I just did a blood work too, where because I'm taking vitamin D that I was over, and I had excess of vitamin D. And I can't remember.
Stop. You know why you have excess vitamin D?
Because my body's not absorbing it, maybe.
You're talking about vitamin D excess, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's because you're not utilizing it properly. Okay, I mean, you get vitamin D, it just goes right, any excess goes into your liver. Vitamin D does not cause any problems. So just, what should I say? When a doctor does a blood test, he says, oh, you have too much calcium. Well, that means you have raging osteoporosis, and your parathyroid glands are pulling calcium out of your bones, and that's why your calcium's high, not because you're eating too much calcium. I asked people, well, do you supplement with calcium? No. Did the doctors ask you where you were getting all your calcium, why your calcium was high? No, he just said, don't stop taking calcium. So I didn't have to worry about it because I wasn't taking calcium. Okay, so doctors forget about that physiology. The body is things come in, things go out, things come in, go out every hour based on what's going on. This is not something, this is a once a year thing. No, this is a once in 15-minute thing.
Right.
Okay, so it's a constant ebb and flow. Then I also, see here, I also want you to, you don't have any blood sugar problems. What about, do you ever get drowsy or sleepy an hour after you eat?
I think I've been falling. That's one thing I've been doing is I fall asleep just so easily. Like I even when I'm driving and just.
Okay. Yeah, this is called reactive hypoglycemia. So I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our sweeties. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. This is not something that goes along with some terrible autoimmune disease. Okay, this is due to a deficiency of nutrients. And when you eat a meal and you have carbohydrates in that meal, we're talking about rice and sweet potatoes and white potatoes and spaghetti and bread and all this kind of stuff and dessert with sugar in it. your sugar will go up in your blood and then your body will knock it down, but it knocks it down too far. And that's when you start getting drowsy. This is why people cross the center line and do head-on collisions and kill somebody else on the other side and kill themselves. They do tests. I used to do tests on people who died that way in their blood, and they didn't have any drugs. So why were they going to sleep and crossing the center line? Because they had reactive hypoglycemia, because they were deficient in those nutrients they had just eaten 2 hours before they got in the crash.
Yeah, I've been told I have borderline hypoglycemia, and I also have very low blood pressure. My blood pressure is always very
Okay, so the sweeties, take 3 twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And then call us every couple of weeks, because you're going to have a great story. You don't have any high blood pressure issues?
No high blood pressure. No, I have low blood pressure. I have high cholesterol, but the good cholesterol, because I eat so many avocados.
Yeah, well, cholesterol is a good thing.
Yeah.
Your cholesterol should be above 200. I like it around 300. Okay, doctors want you to get your cholesterol below 100. Well, that's why we have all these diseases, because it's a cholesterol deficiency created by doctors giving this information to the patient. Don't get below 200. Okay. All right. Call us every couple of weeks. You're going to have great stories. And you're, what should I say? You're kind of like a common American when it comes to, you're a beautiful individual, but as far as how Americans eat and how they respond to the environment and everything, you're like most Americans. So we have to deal with that. Okay.
Okay.
Call us every couple of weeks, and
Absolutely.
you can take your own blood sugar, right? You do that. Take your own blood sugar, and then take your own blood pressure, take your weight, anything that's going on, let us know. And tell me if you stop getting drowsy after meals. I want to know about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Josie. And please check back in and let us know how you're doing. I know that you're going to be having some great progress. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up, and Bev. Bev, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Bev.
Good morning. Good morning,
Hi, I
Dr.
see
Wallach.
half of you.
Oh, I'm fully here.
Are you from Great
She's
Britain?
there.
Are you from Great Britain?
New Zealand.
New Zealand, okay. Okay, so how can we help you?
Okay, so about 5 years ago, I spoke to you and I had osteoporosis of the skull and my healing was nothing short of miraculous. But now I don't know what's gone on. I'm off all the bad foods. I occasionally slip back. But I've got ringing in the ears, my taste is going, and I have terrible pins and needles in my hands and arms that wake me up through the night, and
Okay.
I have to get up. Yeah.
Okay,
Not
you have
good.
osteoporosis of the skull, very severe. Okay, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, that's due to the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve being squeezed by the skull. Okay, and you have tingling and numbness in your hands, right? That's the skull squeezing the spinal cord, and the nerves coming down from the spinal cord into your arms are being squeezed. How many times a night do you wake up to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times?
3 to 4 times.
Yes. You have osteoporosis of the skull squeezing your spinal cord, and the spinal cord is telling your urinary bladder to urinate. I know it's not your prostate gland because girls don't have prostate glands. So we don't have to do a biopsy of your prostate gland because you're home free there, right? So yeah, you have very severe osteoporosis of the skull, which means the odds are you have osteoporosis everywhere else. Do you have dentures? Do you have receding gums, anything like that?
I think I have receding gums, yes.
Yeah. So that means your facial bones are shrinking, your jawbone is shrinking. Do you have any pain in your TMJ? Your jaw joint? Okay, good. And then, but waking up 3-4 times a night to urinate, that's definitely osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the spinal cord. So there's a lot of stuff going on south, okay, of your skull because the spinal cord is being squeezed, including that polyuria thing, okay? You have polyuria. It's not a parrot. Polly, want a cracker?
What is it? I don't understand.
Oh, I was making a joke because polyuria means you're urinating many times.
Okay.
And people call parrots poly.
Oh, right.
Okay, so I just make a little joke out of that. Okay, so call us every couple of weeks because you're going to have a great story. Don't forget the 90 essential nutrients. And you weigh, again, you
Oh,
weigh,
I'm 65 kilos and I'm 1.74
okay, so
in
140
height.
pounds, 140 pounds, about, give or take, okay? Okay, and so
Yep.
145 to 150 pounds. So once you have 2 of our healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose of everything twice a day, I want you to take 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So you take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I want you to take a scoop of our collagen peptides at breakfast drink and a dinner drink. I want you to take a scoop twice a day of our Beyond OsteoFX. Take a scoop of that at breakfast, a scoop of that at dinner. And I also want you to take the vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. And this is going to help you everywhere, from your skull to your shoulders, your elbows, your knees, your back, to your toes. You're gonna,
Wow.
you're gonna start, sleeping through the night and not getting up 3, 4, 5 times to urinate. Okay, all that's going to go away because it's all due to osteoporosis. Okay.
So what happened, like when I spoke to you about 5 years ago and all this went away, and I've been we've been very good diet wise. So why has it come back?
Well, have you been taking the
What-
90 essential nutrients?
Yeah, I have.
Now, diet wise, I know that New Zealand and Australia are big on gluten. Do you eat wheat?
No, nothing like that.
Do you eat any, let's see, oats?
No, I don't have anything like that because you say not to, so I don't.
Okay, good. What about the other people in your family? Do they do it?
It's just my husband with us. That's just the two of us. Our diet is very good because of you. We do
Okay, so
everything
he
you
doesn't,
say.
he doesn't eat any oats.
No,
Does he drink beer?
no, we don't
Okay,
drink.
okay. All right. If he drinks Asian beer, some of the rice beer from New Zealand, that's okay because there's no gluten in the rice beer.
No,
There's only gluten in the wheat beer.
no, we don't drink at all. We're non-drinkers.
Do you wash your clothes in a laundromat or at home?
I make my own laundry powder and wash them at home.
Okay, very good. All right, well, give us a call every couple of weeks and, bring us up to a date because people are going to hear, okay, what's happened to that Bev girl.
Oh, nothing. I run every day. I ride my horses.
Do you feed oats to your horses?
No, I don't because of you.
Okay. You feed any wheat to them? Any grain? No grain.
No, only hemp and Timothy hay, spray-free Timothy hay.
Hemp. Okay, so they're drug addicts. That's good. Okay, so it's hemp hay or hemp bean?
Hemp pellets,
pellets,
Timothy
yeah, okay.
hay, and
Well, read the
flaxseed.
label.
Oh,
Make sure they don't have
give-
any gluten in the hemp pellets.
Yep. I actually give them flaxseed pellets. I suppose I shouldn't, should I?
What's in them?
Flaxseed
Flax is
pellets.
okay. Flax is okay. There's no gluten in flax.
Okay. Okay. So what about, can I use coconut oil?
No oils.
Yeah. There's so many different opinions about coconut oil, so I thought I'd just ask you.
Well, all the people who like coconut oil die.
Wow. Okay, I won't use any.
100% die.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Well,
Wallach.
thank you. And we look forward to hearing from you every couple of weeks. Okay. You're going to have a great story.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thank you,
All right.
Bev. Dr. Wallach, I do have to mention something. Eventually we all die.
Well, I know that's what I was getting at. That
At
was
least
before.
our bodies do.
Well, I guarantee anybody who, eats hemp's going to die. Everybody dies.
Everybody that eats eggs is gonna die, Doc.
I know. I said that.
Well, Dr. Wallach does have a good humor, and I appreciate that, Doc. So keeping us on our toes so that we know we're paying attention.
You have to
Or
think.
you
You
know.
have to think. Thinking will add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. If you don't pay attention, it'll cost you 25 years to 50 years of your life.
That's right. And being intentional in what you do and don't put inside your body and on your body. That includes the oils. A lot of lotions are made with oils. So let's talk about skin real quick, Dr. Wallach. Because I know the changes that I had in my skin when I started taking essential fatty acids and collagen. Those two things. I don't have to put lotion on anymore.
Yeah,
Where
but
before
you
my
take those
skin
with
was
the
so
90,
dry,
right? You don't take them by themselves. You take them with the 90.
my essential fatty acids?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I take in addition to the 90,
Hmm.
but what I'm saying is when I first started, I didn't realize the importance of essential fatty acids. So I would forget them.
Yeah, well, doctors
They
never talk
weren't a
about that.
priority.
All they talk about is vitamin C and scurvy. They're still living 200 years ago.
Right. So, but I just want to make the point, Dr. Wallach, I started with the pig pack and it had that little bottle of essential fatty acids and I would take them here and there, but I still had dry skin, even though I was taking the 90 essential nutrients minus 3. So I was only getting 87. Those 3 are so important if you want to have skin that does not itch and flake.
Not only that, they prevent blood clots.
And I found out through this whole journey with you that they're nature's blood thinner. They keep the blood clean. Did you say duh?
Duh.
I'm sure I'm not the only one that did not know that over the past 7 years.
Well, that's why
So
we keep
now
talking about
more
it.
people know, Dr. Wallach, so be nice.
I think what we need to do is come up with another stream of the essential fatty acids, and the name of them is going to be duh.
Okay, we'll work on that, Doc. We'll work on that. Let's go to the next hand that is up, though, Doc. We have 4 minutes, and
Okay.
Bethany is sitting there patiently in her car. Bethany, welcome to Ask Doc Live. You are on live.
Hi, Bethany.
Can
How
y'all
can I
hear
help you?
me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you came on
Hey,
early.
okay. So I have a couple of questions. My son, he is 3 years old, and his height, he's 3 foot 3 inches, and he weighs 33 pounds. A couple of weeks ago, we got the diagnosis of Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So you can imagine our life has kind of turned upside down.
Okay, well, this is your lucky day.
So I'm hoping for lots of good information. I'm new to it. I've done my research. I'm actually pregnant with my 3rd son.
Now, are you
And
taking the 90 essential nutrients?
now I take a prenatal.
Okay, you better get on the 90 essential nutrients. How far along are you in your pregnancy?
27 weeks.
Okay, so yeah, I'd add, 1 dose of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack to your, okay, split it up, a half a dose twice a day of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Are you going to breastfeed this baby?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you also want to get the kids toddy. So in addition, you can add 1 meal a day, kids toddy. It's a liquid baby formula. I would also add our EFAs, get the EFAs so you can puncture them and squeeze 1 EFA into that dose of the kids toddy. And you have to stay away from all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rye oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. All right. Now, muscular dystrophy used to be thought of as being a genetic disease. When we told Jerry Lewis, we gave him, after many, many years of working with muscular dystrophy kids, and we were showed we had eliminated muscular dystrophy in about a dozen kids. He got excited. He took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. This was in September of 2011. He got so excited. He took all this data we gave him to the Muscular Dystrophy Association because we had convinced him that we had found the prevention and cure for muscular dystrophy. They immediately fired Jerry Lewis. They shut down the telethon, and they put a gag order on him so he couldn't say anything.
Of course.
And then, of course, he died just very quickly after that. Now, What do you think about those people? Well, my attorney, Jonathan Emord, and I have spent a lot of time in federal courts over the years. We have gotten 3 wins against the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, in federal courts, one of which was to put the selenium, the trace mineral selenium, into baby formulas, Enfamil, Similac, obviously, and all the prenatal vitamins and all this kind of stuff, selenium, and we eliminated muscular dystrophy. So if you have a baby that has muscular dystrophy, were you just feeding him cow's milk? Were you feeding him Enfamil? Were you giving him our kids toddy? I mean, what were you feeding this baby?
So with Jax, he's my middle child. I have a thyroid disorder. So
No, we're talking about the one with muscular dystrophy.
yes, Jax. So I breastfed him as long as I could. He got 3 months.
Okay, stop. Were you eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats at that time?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so you couldn't absorb the nutrition. So he was not getting any nutrition because your intestines were killed and you couldn't, even though you were taking the nutrients, they're going out the other end into the septic tank. You were not absorbing enough for you and him. And that's why he got Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. So, and he's 3 years old now?
Yes.
Okay, then he needs, 1 meal a day of the kids' toddy. If you want to give the same amount, the dosage is on the back of the bottle. Okay, the label, the kids' toddy. Give that same dosage of our Cherry Mins to him at the same meal. Now, he also wants the EFAs. I'd give him 2 FAs a day, EFA and EFA plus, one at breakfast, one at dinner time. And he's got to stay away from all the gluten. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats. He's got to understand that these things, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, cereals, Cheerios, Wheaties, oatmeal, all that stuff is bad for him and will kill him, will make him so sick he cannot play sports effectively. He's got to eat like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes. Everybody in the family, you and your husband and grandma and everybody, the dogs and the cats, everybody in that household's got to eat the same way. He cannot be selected and say, you have to eat this way and everybody else can eat the gluten. That's not going to work. Okay?
I agree.
If you don't take care of him diet-wise, he will die early. Okay? Because muscular dystrophy occurs not only in the skeletal muscles, but also in the muscles of your digestive tract, and it'll affect his brain and so forth. And so we don't want him dying as a teenager from muscular dystrophy in these days and times, because 12, 15 years ago, we found the cause, prevention, cure of muscular dystrophy. I got the Klaus Schwartz Award for that. Okay. And this is, Jerry Lewis was supposed to be the featured speaker. It was October of 2011, and they fired him September 4th of 2011, a month before he was supposed to speak at our event. And then we're going to take the longevity people and put them all towards eliminating muscular dystrophy, because we had already done it. And so it's just putting the team on it into the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Well, they fired Jerry Lewis. I mean, he walked in to give him all this stuff. He gave it to him. They immediately fired him, put him on a gag order, and shut down the telethon that very moment. After 50 years, and he had raised $2.5 billion for them for their research, they summarily fired him and shut down the telethon. Shame on them.
So we live in Georgia in the United States. Is there doctors that you would recommend? Like, we're going to be taking him to Scottish Rite. I've looked into.
Okay, now stop. Are you already a longevity customer or associate?
I have no idea what that even is.
Okay, well, you hang on, because Rebecca and her team are going to get you in to where you're going to get these products that I mentioned. Okay, for wholesale. If you get an auto ship, I will pay the shipping. Okay, so you'll save a lot of money. But you got to start your kid today, and they're going to introduce you once they get you signed up in the system, so you get the wholesale prices, and I'll pay the shipping. Then and only then will they, get you introduced to our doctors and things there in Georgia. I spent a lot of time in Georgia. I discovered all this. I was working at Yerkes Primate Center at Emory University. I know Georgia
Okay.
very well. Okay. And they fired me because I said cystic fibrosis was not a genetic disease. So they fired me at Emory University. And now they're embarrassed because 50 years later, the ones that are still alive know I was correct 50 years ago when I said that cystic fibrosis was not genetic. And I found the first non-human case, which they all agreed was when they looked at the slides. I didn't tell them it was from a monkey. I said, I think this is cystic fibrosis. They think, oh yeah, this is a classic example. Then I tell them it was from a monkey. This is first non-human case of cystic fibrosis. They're all excited. And then when I told them it was a nutritional deficiency, they fired me. That's how crazy these medical doctors are.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so you hang on. Okay, don't go away. And Miss Rebecca will get you into the system. To be a customer, it costs you very little, right?
It doesn't cost anything to be a preferred customer, Dr. Wallach.
Well, there you
To
go.
get wholesale pricing.
Well, that's
So
very
it's
cheap.
just the
Nothing is
cost.
cheap.
Right. Well, yeah, shipping is out through the roof right now if you try to send it individually. But get back with the person that invited you to this program, Bethany. And if you found this program on your own, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Get
no,
back
go ahead. My phone.
Okay, get back with the person that invited you to this program to ask your question with Dr. Wallach. If you're here because of being part of our critical health newsletter or you saw advertising, get back with the person that you saw the advertising for. If there was nobody, you found it on your own, folks, go to askdoclive.com and use the contact us. We'll make sure that you get the information that you need in order to, select the products that are going to be a best fit for you. All right. We will be right back after a short break. Everybody don't go away. Get up and stretch. We got to keep those fluids moving. And again, we'll be right back on Ask Doc Live. All right. Hello and welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and see if Dr. Wallach is ready to get started. And until he is, I just want to thank everybody for being here with us on Ask Doc Live. This program is being brought to you weekly to give you a consistent opportunity to be able to ask Dr. Wallach questions, to be able to invite people to this program so that they can hear the information that Dr. Wallach is sharing as well. This is a safe place. If you were here and invited by somebody specific, get back with that person. If you are on here and already part of the longevity family, thank you for being here. Share this information with others so that they also can get the power that knowledge brings and be able to be empowered or more empowered of their own health journey. So as soon as Dr. Wallach is ready, we will go ahead and get to the next questions here. I love technology. All that you can do remotely is pretty fantastic. So Dr. Wallach, if you can hear me. I will be right back. If one of my co-hosts would like to go ahead and take over for just a minute and go over some particulars, I would greatly appreciate it. Well, we'll get the good doctor reconnected. I'm going to give him a call on the phone right now.
Hello, everybody. This is Ruth Ellen. Let me add a spotlight here while Rebecca gets that taken care of. Hello. Oh, it sounds like Doc might be coming back, but I'd like to read something to you all because we are required to say that the content of this program is provided for nutritional and educational purposes only. The program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father, one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to guide us, Dr. Joel Wallach. And I think, let me check and see what is going on in the gallery there. We are still working on getting Doc's video up. And there we go. I see Doc.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back, Doc.
Okay, well, Rebecca just pushed all the right buttons here, so we're back.
Awesome, very good. Very good. And Rebecca should be joining us any second.
Yep.
So while she's coming back, let's talk about the importance of cross-contamination when people are cooking food, Doc. I
Okay.
live in a house where people eat gluten. I am the only gluten-free person in my house, and I can tell you, I can feel it when somebody is steaming, making pasta or something that creates a lot of steam. I have effects from that. I stay out of the kitchen and turn the fans on, taking it out of my house.
And you don't want to be washing your clothes with the same laundry wash as of the rest of the people either.
That's correct.
Yeah, because that dust from the gluten gets all over their clothes, and you put your clothes in the same wash as theirs. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I know a lot of families. Mom does all the cooking, and she cooks gluten-free for herself and everybody else that eats gluten. And that steam carries particles of gluten into your sinuses, into your lungs, and
On your
really
skin.
it gets on your skin, it gets everywhere. So, you know, keep that in mind. There are a lot of really good gluten-free pastas that are not loaded with corn, and there are lots and lots of options for pancakes and all kinds of things. So we could go to the next hand up, which is Jim Sullivan. I'm going to ask you to unmute and spotlight you, and you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Jim. How can we help you?
Jim, we can't hear you. Is your volume up?
Yeah, I see your lips moving, Jim, but unfortunately, we don't have any volume on this end either. So maybe go out, come back in, and then we'll catch you when you get back in, okay? Let's go to the next hand that is up, and Greg, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you're able to turn your camera on, that would be absolutely fantastic. Dr. Wallach likes to see who he's speaking with. Otherwise, if you're still here with us, Greg, go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask Dr. Wallach your questions.
Oh, we're having a communication problem.
Oh, no. So this might be Mrs. Greg. Can you say something, my dear, so we can see if we can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Go ahead with your question.
Oh, okay. So I have high blood pressure, and I'm following all of your protocol, and I'm taking the Healthy Heart and Brain Pack, and also I'm taking the the Ultimate Daily Classic.
Okay.
They prescribed. So, but my blood pressure is still high. So what can I do?
Okay. There's two possibilities. Number one, you're getting cross-contaminated with gluten and you're not able to absorb. So you really need to look into that. What are the remote possibilities of gluten? There cannot be
Well,
any,
by myself and I'm gluten free. So,
okay. Do you wash your clothes in a laundromat or at home?
um, well, at home, but I live in an apartment, so I share the.
Oh, so you share the laundry. Yeah, well, there's your problem. You're getting cross-contaminated, and the odds are, you have white, gray, or silver hair?
Yeah, my hair is somewhat silver.
Okay. It's not an aging thing. It's due to nutritional deficiencies. And so that's why I was asked that. How many times a night do you wake up to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times?
Couple of times.
Yeah. Okay, you have osteoporosis of the skull. All right. And let's see. And so you're getting cross-contaminated probably from the other people living in that apartment building in the washer and dryer. And so you may need to hand wash your clothes, or get a little, kind of an apartment washer and dryer that you put in your own apartment, or do it by hand kind of thing. And that way you'll eliminate that piece. But you do need to, let's see here, how much do you weigh?
120 pounds.
120 pounds, okay. 120 pounds, I'd like you to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. I want you to take 1 bottle a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. I want you to take 1 scoop of the collagen peptides in your breakfast drink, 1 scoop of collagen peptides in your evening drink, vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. And the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. But again, you have to be able to absorb this stuff. So you want to watch cross-contamination in your clothes. If there's a kind of a lounge where everybody hangs out, you can't go hang out there because they're all covered in gluten and sitting in the chairs and the couches and the tables and all that kind of stuff.
No, I don't associate with anyone around.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what telephones are for, and computers and things like that. Okay, so yeah, and so you're taking the right stuff, make sure the dosage is good, but make sure you're not getting cross-contaminated and affecting how you absorb. It wouldn't hurt. Get a hair analysis. Get that book, Rare Earths Been Cures. Get the book, Rare Earths Been Cures, and go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com. Get the book. Rare Earths Been Cures, go to chapter 1011, starts at page 272, and it tells you how to collect your hair, how to package it, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check or money order in there, because the lab won't, run the test without it. And in 2 weeks, you're going to get 2 charts back. One chart will be your nutritional minerals, and the second chart will be the toxic minerals like lead and mercury and uranium and that kind of stuff. And that'll give you really a sense of what's going on. If they're all below the bottom line, that's why you're having so much trouble. If some of them are below the bottom line, that's why you're having so much trouble. They should all be at least in the middle of the optimal levels, okay? And so rarely do you have any excess nutritional minerals. You might have some excess toxic minerals, but you don't know until you get the hair analysis. So I'd go for the hair analysis, and that way you're going to have some serious lab data. A blood test won't do. A blood test will only tell you about calcium and iron. So you're missing the information on 58 other minerals, whereas the hair analysis will give you all that information. So go there, and so we can hear from you, say within the month, and that'll give us more information to help you out.
I also get a little sleepy after I eat.
Yeah, so you have reactive hypoglycemia. Okay, so it doesn't hurt for you to get the sweeties. Get the sweeties. It's your body weight. Get two bottles of sweeties. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. Yeah, you have reactive hypoglycemia. If you get drowsy after meals, be careful when you're driving, because people fall asleep and they cross the center line, cause head-on collisions, and people die.
I don't get sleepy.
Okay, you just get drowsy.
I get a little tired after I
Yeah.
eat. I mean, yeah.
Okay, well, one person's tired as another person's drowsy. Yeah.
And
All right.
I'm 93 years old, and I feel really good.
Okay, good. 93,
Otherwise-
so that's a beautiful thing. I'm 83 going on 84, so I'm trying to catch up with you. Okay, thank you. Let's hear from you soon, okay? Let's hear from you in a couple of weeks. And let's hear from you after you've been on the program. When you get your hair analysis back, let's call us and so we can go through that with you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, God bless you, dear.
Well, I don't think anybody would deny that at 93, my dear, you are absolutely gorgeous. Look
Thank
at
you.
that skin. Oh my goodness, that's where I'm going. 93 years old and very few wrinkles. Absolutely fabulous. So Dr. Wallach, with that osteoporosis of the skull, she's got the foundation of it. She's got the brain and heart pack. She's got the Ultimate Daily Classic, which are working on her blood pressure issues. Would you recommend adding the glucogel and the collagen and the MSM
Yes,
for osteoporosis of the skull?
absolutely. Because osteoporosis of the skull, when you have osteoporosis of the skull, you have osteoporosis in every bone in your body. You don't just get osteoporosis in your right hip. You don't just get osteoporosis of the skull. You have osteoporosis in your left knee, you got, or your third lumbar vertebrae. You have osteoporosis in every bone in your body.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Not just one section. I mean, our body is made up of cells. So if we have poor or unhealthy cells in one section of the body, it's the same food that's feeding the whole entire body, unless you've got poor circulation and that nutrition is just not being circulated to all the parts of the body. But when we're looking at osteoporosis of the skull, I mean, that's one of the closest parts to the heart and where it pumps. You know,
Yeah,
it's
is
not
she
just
still
about
on?
circulation, right?
Yeah, she's still on?
Yeah, she's still here.
Oh, okay. How many times you
Can
wake
you
up?
not see the camera, Doc?
Well, they're so tiny. They're like a quarter of an inch.
Ah,
Well, I can see the three of you, big.
all right. We can, okay, so something went awry, but we'll get that fixed. So that's why,
I see 30 names on here.
yeah, well, that's why I'm just next door, Doc, so that whenever we can get you tuned into using this technology, because we love seeing you in your office and you being able to see all of us as well.
Well, yeah, well, I
So,
see myself on here like 1 inch by 2 inches.
okay, well, we'll make it bigger. So
Okay.
just as we are going to the next person, Dr. Wallach, with the
Mhm.
hand up, I want you to just focus on the individual and the question, but let's cover a question right now that has to do with sauteing. So Susan says that she sautés her, I think it was the eggs on very low heat, which is what we do. We don't want it to sizzle. You want it to be enough that things are melting, the butter's melting. You can put the eggs in there without sizzle. Dr. Wallach, when I was getting my nails done, I was watching this show and they showed how to make fried rice. Oh my goodness, I was horrified at how much corn oil they were pouring this gallon of scrambled up eggs into, and how it sizzled and bubbled, and then they pulled it out and they just dumped it on the rice, and then they put oil in with the rice. And when they say fried rice, that's fried rice. I was thinking, oh, what's so bad about fried rice? Now I know. But yeah, you do want to do very, very low heat and use butter or ghee. So there's a lot, I mean, vitamin A
Yeah, see,
is in butter
probably
and ghee.
most of the people who get blocked arteries, they get plaque in their arteries, is caused by the cooks.
Yep, caused by the cooks and what you cook and what you put in your body. So now,
And we're going to
Angelica
start
had
calling it the cook victim syndrome.
the cooked victim syndrome.
The cook victim syndrome.
Cooked victim syndrome. Okay, CVS. Cooked
Clogged
victim
arteries.
syndrome.
Yeah.
There we go. Clogged arteries. Well, it's really simple to avoid it, but you have to be intentional. Absolutely intentional. So Dr. Wallach, as I'm making my way back next door, because I'm not here, just for the moment, tell us about, Angelica has a question. Well, no, let's go to the next hand that's up. Sorry, and Angelica, we'll get to your question. Aurora, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you'd like to come on camera, fabulous. If not, go ahead. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, hi, doctor. So I'm 47 years old. I weigh 151. I am 5'2". I've been following you for about 8 years. And I started, I'm going to give you a list of the things I've been suffering from. I've had TMJ for over 10 years. I've had fungus, toenail, dry feet. I wear contacts. Just recently, they discovered I had a silent stroke. I wear contacts. I have tingling and numbness on my body. I have high blood pressure. I have no uterus. I had a total hysterectomy. Fibromyalgia, fatigue. I'm tired a lot of the times. My sleep patterns recently for the last 2 years have been off. Also, I'm allergic to peanuts. Also, sex drive is low to none. And then in that same area, when our body fluids come in contact, I become very itchy and or burning sometimes, and it's dry. And I have the itchiness stays about 1 or 2, maybe the last time I think it stood like for 2 weeks. I also have slurred speech, and I'm nervous, as you can tell. And I'm not just nervous like when I speak in public, but when I'm not behind the wheel, that's kind of where I get really nervous. And then heart palpitations as well.
Okay, how many times a night do you wake up to urinate?
Last night I actually was very conscious about that. It happens once. I got up once, and then one like at 5 or 6 in the morning, but that's usually around the time I get up in the morning. So it was one time.
Okay.
And I went to bed at midnight.
Okay, and you have tinnitus ringing in the ears?
Occasionally, I do.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had Bell's palsy where one side of your face droops?
One face up, yes, it droops one side, but I've never been told that I've had Bell's palsy.
That's what it is. When you have one side droops, it's Bell's palsy.
Oh, okay.
That's the 7th cranial nerve being squeezed. Okay, you have osteoporosis of the skull, obviously, yeah. So, anyway, 100 and let's see here, 150.
Yes, 150, 51, 52.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So again, you know the drill, but this is for the rest of our viewers and listeners. No fried foods. Absolutely no fried foods. Absolutely no oils. No salad dressings, no cooking oils. Absolutely no processed meats. No ham, no bacon, no salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, spam, bologna.
I don't eat any of that stuff.
Okay, well, this is I'm talking to millions of people here.
Okay.
Dude. Okay. And so, also, you need to stay away from gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, no oats, no peanuts, and then absolutely no sugar, absolutely no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go, because carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, and stomach acid is required to absorb minerals and digest food. So you got to get rid of all that bad stuff. You got to clean the environment, okay? And then I want you to take your body weight, which is again
51.
151. Yeah, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. You may be doing some of this already, but again, this is for you and our greater listening audience. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. Then I want you to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they will support healthy maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. And then I need you to take the collagen peptides, take a scoop of that with your morning drink and your evening drink. the Beyond Osteo FX, take a scoop of that with your morning drink and evening drink. I do that. Then also, I want you to take vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. And then I want you to take our Synaptive. I want you to take our Synaptive. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And the Synaptive will help your brain work better. And I also want you to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, soft boiled, soft poached with butter, not margarine, okay, not oil, but soft poached with butter, 3 twice a day. And don't forget the Synaptives. Take 3 of those twice a day. And then you're going to be a whole new person. But call us in 2 weeks and 4 weeks and 6 weeks, and because people want to know how you're doing, because you're going to have a great story.
Oh, and then also one thing, the migraines, I do get migraines that last about 2 to 3 days, where I have to sleep more.
Osteoporosis of the skull.
Okay.
Skull is being squeezing everything, including that 5th cranial nerve. Okay, the 5th cranial nerve, and that's why you're having the headaches. And don't forget, it wouldn't hurt. Do you have any high blood pressure?
Yes, high blood pressure also.
Okay. Okay. I want to be sure you get 3 of the Beyond Osteo, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And then don't cold turkey off your blood pressure medication. But as the blood pressure begins to come down, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. And it'll take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks to 6 weeks. But give it, you're going to call us every week or every couple of weeks, and you're going to give us a progress report. Okay. And we will walk you through this. But basically, you're going to share your story with millions of people.
Okay. That's the goal. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. I know that you had sent me a message, wanting to know how to ask a question. So I'm glad that you got your hand raised and was able to ask Dr. Wallach your question. But let's try James again. James, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. You got a bar running across the middle screen. Get rid of the bar.
Got it. So,
Nope. You got to get rid of the bar.
Doc, there is no bar.
There is a bar. There's a big bar. It's taking up 1/3 of my screen and covering my face, and it's covering my face.
Go ahead and focus on James, and let me see what I can do. Okay.
Okay. All I can
I'm
see
getting my exercise in today. Thank you. We had a question about exercise.
Is that James? It sounds like a woman's voice.
hey, now this is James, Doc.
Go ahead. How can we help you, sir?
Today I just have a couple questions about foods, but I want to remind you that I called in starting about 3 months ago, and I had trigger fingers starting in my left hand. And you told me what to take for it, and I'm happy to report that it's completely gone.
The trigger finger's gone. How long had you had trigger finger?
It started back around January, February, but it's you got me on the nutrients back in July, mid-July, and it's completely gone now.
Congratulations. Thanks for the feedback.
Well, thank you. But my question about foods is, I noticed lately you started mentioning peanuts in the foods to avoid.
Yes.
And also I noticed at the stores, they're selling uncured bacon and white hots that are labeled no nitrates. Are those still bad?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, they're trying, but they're still missing it. Now, the reason why we're talking about peanuts, peanuts grow in the ground.
Yeah.
They are infested many times, a high probability of being infested with a fungus called Aspergillus flavus. And this fungus produces a poison called aflatoxin, which causes liver cancer. Liver cancer is like the 5th leading cause of cancer in America, and it's the number 3 cause of death from cancer in America. Okay, liver cancer. So you avoid peanuts, you avoid the aflatoxin. Tree nuts are okay. Tree nuts don't get infested with Aspergillus flavus because they don't grow in the ground. So tree nuts are safe. but peanuts are bad. That's why a lot of people who drink beer and whiskey and they go to bars every Friday night and Saturday night, every Wednesday night, whenever they have the big financial deal on the drinks.
Yeah.
They're drinking their drinks. They're getting, wheat in their beer. They're getting rye in their whiskey, and they're eating peanuts. And so it's not the alcohol and the drink that's causing the liver cancer. It's the aflatoxin in the peanuts they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it makes sense?
Yeah, wasn't that what was killing the bears too, that they were feeding?
Oh, yeah, that's how I figured it out. Yeah, that's how I figured it out.
Yeah.
I should have got the Nobel Prize for that one. I didn't. But,
yeah.
It was called back from Africa by Marlon Perkins, the old Mutual Omaha Kingdom show, because we got that $25 million grant based on my thesis, where I had found the first non-human cases of cystic fibrosis in the space monkeys at the Yerkes Primate Center at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. They fired me because they said it wasn't genetic. And so, at any rate, we're dealing here with Perkins gave me a list of his personal list. Okay, here's what the National Institutes of Health wants you to do. Here's my list. Okay, I want you to do. And the number one at top was every zoo in the world, their bears would die just after 15 to 20 years of being in the zoo from liver cancer. Every bear in the world was dying in zoos from liver cancer. So I knew it had to be a common thread because they're all different bears, they're all different places, different diets. So it had to be some common thread because they're all dying from liver cancer. It turns out that in every zoo in the world, they were selling peanuts to the visitors. And the bears learned that when they stood up and waved their paws and made noise, people would throw the peanuts at them to reward them, for begging. And they would eat those peanuts infested with the aflatoxin, get the aflatoxin, okay, and cause liver cancer. And they had it in laboratory animals. They knew that it caused liver cancer, but they didn't realize that all those peanuts that they were feeding the bears in the zoo is what was causing the liver cancer. So we dealt with that. And I published it in the International Zoo Yearbook. And within the next year, all bears in the world stopped dying of liver cancer in the zoos because they stopped selling peanuts in the zoos. Now I'm learning, remember, that was in 1965, 66. Okay. And so now all those people who are dealing with that are dead. And so now the new kids are coming along and now they're feeding them peanuts again and they're starting to get liver cancer in the bears again.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Stay away from peanuts.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's a good question because every generation has to be retaught those things because why aren't people eating peanuts? Look, all the animals love peanuts. Okay, well, that's why they die of liver cancer.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing, and because liver cancer is the number 3 cause of cancer death of people, in the industrialized world. And so, yeah, I should have got the Nobel Prize for that one.
So is peanut butter just as bad for?
Peanut butter is just as bad. Peanut butter ice cream is just as bad. You cannot have peanuts in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. A lot of kids eating peanut butter.
Yeah, well, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. But the other question I had was, are you doing in-person lectures anymore, or will you plan to?
I think, maybe next year we're going to start doing that again. Right now, I'm doing Zooms. For instance, this is a Zoom. This is going to thousands of people, okay, and for 2 hours. And I'll do radio, from noon to one station, and then from 1 to 2 in another station, and each one of those about 150,000 people. And then once a month, I do a radio show with George Norrie that has 125 million people on that George Norrie show. Okay, so I'm on there for 2 hours, once a month for him. And it's a beautiful thing. George is so great. We just really appreciate sharing his audience with us and getting that information out there. So he is a big, what should I say, a big angel getting this health information out to 125 million people every month. So I cannot thank him enough for that. And and so probably we'll start here locally in Southern California. We do have at Wellness Publications, we have a big classroom that holds, I don't know, 75 people. The chairs are already there. All the sound systems are there. But we don't be bringing people in and contaminating our employees until this COVID thing is totally gone. It kind of goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. So we're not quite ready to do things in person.
Okay.
It's just too risky. There's always bound to be, you go to a place, there's 200 people. I'd rather do a Zoom, with say,
Bigger
200
audience.
people in a Zoom. And so, for instance, tonight, I'm going to be doing a Zoom in Australia and New Zealand. I don't have to fly to New Zealand and Australia, but I'll be speaking to maybe 1,000 people in Australia and New Zealand. I do that every Friday night.
Right. Okay.
So I don't have to go there, but that's a good question. But we'll start out, we'll see once they declare the pandemic over and I can document that they're correct. Okay, then we'll start having a meeting and everybody will have to wear a mask in there and they'll still have to do all this stuff. But that's probably sometime in the future next year.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Doc.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, great question, James. Thank you. And for any of you that are on with us and you have a radio program or connections with a radio station or a large following, if you're an influencer and you've got Instagram account, you would like to host Dr. Wallach, please email us at doc@drjwallach.com. That's doc@drjwallach.com. And we will work with you to see if we can get him scheduled to be a guest on your show. So we do want to make sure that he is available to as many people as possible because the message that he shares is changing people's lives. I know it changed mine. It's changed each of our co-hosts' lives, not just physically, but also financially. And we just want to make sure that that opportunity is available around the world. So, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up, and Will has had his hand up and then it went down. So let's go ahead and ask Will to unmute. Uh-oh.
Hi.
Will,
This
are
is
you
Will
listening
M.
on two different devices?
No, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but I hear myself with
Okay. Well, I'm 67. I'm about 250 plus pounds. And I have venous stasis in my lower legs, right down to the toes. This came from, I think, a time when I was unfortunately out of a home and living in a car and not able to elevate my feet. I have mottling or bumpy skin, and what's been diagnosed, or I've been told, is venous stasis. And I'd like to know how I can reverse or correct for that, doctor.
Okay, stop.
With any of your supplements or other advice you may have for me.
Do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
I take medication for high blood pressure. I've been on to Norman for about 20 years plus.
Okay. Do you have any arthritis or back problems?
Not to my knowledge.
How many times a night do you wake up to urinate?
About 3 to 4 times, about every 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay. Do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
No.
Okay. Do you have any dizziness or vertigo?
Rarely I've had a sense of vertigo. That's just from sitting up on a bed, and then it goes by tilting my head side to side, and then it's gone.
Do you have any irregular heartbeat?
Not to my knowledge. I did at one time have an abnormality that came from the thin diet many years ago, but I think they told me that that's either negligible or gone away.
Okay. Well, you see here, what we're going to have you do, Rebecca.
I got it, Doc. I got it, Doc.
Okay, we're quiet now? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has a repeater to help him hear you better. So thank you for your patience with that.
Okay. So he needs to, so he has a hearing problem. Is that his problem?
Possibly, or it could be just a function on his.
Okay. And this is Will, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So 250 pounds, I want him to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, no oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet ones got to go. Then no peanuts. I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything at breakfast and dinner. I want him to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. Excuse me. And they're going to support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone rings of bone itself, including the skull and all his other bones in his body. I want him to have the collagen peptides, put a scoop of that in his morning drink and a scoop of that in his evening drink. I want him also to have the Beyond Osteo FX, a scoop of that with his morning drink and evening drink. I want him to have 3 vitamin D3 capsules at breakfast and dinner. That's 2 bottles a month. The high blood pressure, I want him to have, because he's 250 pounds, I want him to have 3 of the small bottles of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. Don't cold turkey off the blood pressure medication, but as the blood pressure begins to fall, he can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. And usually within 2 to 6 weeks, there'll be a significant reduction in blood pressure, and many times it's gone. Okay, but I always say, give me 90 days, and almost always, like it's like 99.9% of the time, the high blood pressure goes away. Okay, and so this is a sort of thing. We didn't get to ask him a lot of questions about, does he get drowsy after meals and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know if he has low blood sugar and those kind of things also, but this is a good start. And then he needs to contact us every couple of weeks with his then adjusted weight, you know, how all his various symptoms are doing and so forth. Any of them getting better, any new ones popping on. And so this will all be very useful. And so we look forward to hearing from him. I'd say start out every week. It's toll free, so it doesn't cost you anything to call us. Okay.
All right, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much. So we've got a few more minutes here. Let's go to the next hand that is up, and CJ, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Is that PJ?
CJ.
Oh, CJ.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Two quick question here. I heard you mention about the vitamin D3. I have a client and his vitamin D3 level was 150 and his doctor told him to discontinue the vitamin D3 supplements.
Change doctors.
Okay. What level is considered normal, Doc, please?
Well, that's about like staying out in the sun for an hour every day. You know, you see people, you see patients, they're inside all the time, and their vitamin D3s, you know, down about a third of that, and that's what doctors see, and they think that's normal. Okay, and so they should be looking at people with who work out in the sun without shirts and stuff like that, and look at their vitamin D3. This could be double that of people who are sitting in an office all day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Now, you mentioned about the reactive hypoglycemic
that's
situation.
when people eat.
And
People eat a meal, and then a half hour to an hour later they fall asleep.
Yes, doc, I understand. Now, you said the sweet is to be taken twice per day, but what if someone eats 3 meals, sir? What would you be doing it for each meal?
3 sweeties twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month of the sweeties.
Not after each meal.
Oh, you could do it. You could take 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner time. It'd be the same 6, you know.
Okay. Thank you, doc. 2 more, sir. If someone is wearing a hearing aid, can that be reversed?
It depends. If it's caused by osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the auditory branch of the atrial nerve, causing deafness, which is quite common, and the answer is yes. Okay. And so, again, you know, they could get a hair analysis, get that book, Rare Earths and Cures, chapters 10 and 11, starts at page 272. Learn how to get the hair analysis, Don't forget to put the check in there because they won't run the test without it. And the hair analysis is the only way to find out, you know, where your nutritional minerals are at and where your toxic minerals are at. Okay. And so if they're not supplementing, the odds are they're going to be shocked when they find out, you know, the levels of their nutritional minerals. They'll be shocked. Okay. Because they say, well, I'm eating well. That doesn't mean anything. Eating well, you might be eating oatmeal every morning for breakfast because your doctor said eat oatmeal for breakfast every morning. Because that'll, you know, prevent you from being constipated. But it does what it does, though. It
I got you, doc. I got you. And I thank you, doc. And one more. Can a 12-year-old girl weighing 132 pounds having menstrual difficulties, can she take Zerafem?
Of course.
Thank you.
Absolutely, that's going to help her. And she needs 3 eggs twice a day. Okay, she can have 3 Zerafem twice a day. She needs to take 3 eggs with soft yolks twice a day because estrogen and testosterone are 95% by weight. Cholesterol, she cannot be on statin drugs, okay, to lower cholesterol. She cannot be avoiding cholesterol.
Yes. Thank you so much, doc. Thank you so much, Mr. Becker.
You're very welcome, Cynthia, TJ.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Wallach, we've got about 5 more minutes, and there's so many questions in regards to food and how to cook it. And let's go over just a few things.
Okay, well, I want him to get the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Get that book. There you go. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Okay. And there's 300 pages of safe recipes. Okay, gluten-free recipes, fried food-free recipes. And then don't forget the book, Hell's Kitchen. It goes through the history of why we're in trouble going from wood and coal as fuel to electricity. Okay, there's no ashes when you use electricity. Well, that's good, isn't it? No, because for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, people all over the world, they didn't have emails, they didn't have newspapers thousands of years ago, but everybody learned that when they put the wood ashes and the coal ashes into their gardens, the vegetables and fruit and berries grew better. They ate those vegetables, fruits, and berries. They got the minerals that way. And of course, when grandma used to put the wood ashes into your food, you know, with that big salt shaker, she was giving you minerals. And now you have electricity. And doctors say, don't take any vitamins and minerals. You could, you know, hurt yourself. Okay. They should have their licenses taken away when they say stuff like that. Okay. So those 2 books will get you going in the right direction.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to be told not to take something. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, because even in blood work, some of the doctors know to look for those types of things. And then to tell somebody not to take them just doesn't make any sense to me. Especially, you know, if you've read the first chapter of the first book of the Bible, where man was created from the dust of the earth. I mean, think about it. Where are the minerals at? They're in the dust of the earth. So if we were created from the dust of the earth, don't you think that we need to continue to keep that as part of an essential part of our diet? So, and I know that there's a lot of thought and theory and, you know, on that, but it makes sense to me. And I love the fact that Dr. Wallach, you you agree with that. It makes it easier for me to get along with
Absolutely.
you, that's for sure. Um, and many of the others that are on my team. Now we have a question here. Would a liver detox help to cleanse from peanut toxins?
Okay, would it be good to cleanse for what?
Peanut toxins. So
Oh, peanut
somebody
toxins.
that's been eating a lot of peanuts, would it be beneficial for them to do a liver detox?
It cannot hurt, but they need to stop eating peanuts. They can't do detox and eat peanuts and do detox and eat peanuts. No, that won't work.
That makes sense.
They were
For
trying to
sure.
be sneaky, maybe.
And then somebody wants to know if you're okay with steamed rice, which I know for a fact, steamed rice is the best way to eat your rice.
We have it every day.
And then another
Like an
person
Asian.
wants,
Eat like an Asian.
eat like an Asian to an extent, Dr.
That's
Wallach.
correct.
Because the American Asian and then that video that I watched on fried rice, that was not here in the States.
No.
So we want to eat like, what would it be? A raw, it wouldn't be a
classic
raw.
Asian diet that's avoiding all the bad stuff.
Yeah, just avoid all the bad stuff. Eat simple. The fewer ingredients that you have in something, the better. Not full of fillers. The more you do at home as far as cooking goes, without gluten. I am learning a lot from Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. It's just making substitutions with better ingredients. So I really encourage you to get that Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And again, you can go to askdoclive.com and there is a link to purchase that book on our website. And let's see, somebody had mentioned that I should do a tutorial on putting raw eggs into a protein shake. Well, we're not going to put raw eggs in there, folks. We're going to lightly heat them, mix them up, and then we'll put them into the protein shake. And yes, I will do a video on that. So let's see, what other questions were they? And yeah, just cook the rice according to the directions. So 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. And I love my Instapot. It takes half the time of traditional cooking of rice. And I don't burn it. That's so crazy. I love it. So, and I'm actually a decent cook. But I do get occupied because I have this too many things going on. Can anybody relate to that? You're trying to get too many things while you're cooking or doing anything? Like my co-hosts, where they're keeping an eye on the gallery, they're keeping an eye on the chat, they're making sure that everything is going smoothly and covering me when I have to go and take care of other stuff. And I just appreciate them so well. So everybody.
One more thing, Becca, before we go.
Dr. Wallach is,
one more
I'm
thing,
surprised he's
Becca.
not doing this.
I did that.
Before we go, I just want to make sure everybody knows that you want to cook the raw eggs until the white becomes cloudy instead of clear. Then you can mix it with the shake.
Yes. So if you, yeah, and thank you, Ruth Ellen. You don't have to mix it up like scrambled eggs first. You can just take and pop them into the skillet, let the whites get cloudy, and then put it into the shaking blender. And a blender is best, an electric one, not so much the shaker cup blender. If you want a nice creamy smooth cake, shake. And yeah, cook it in butter. Get that extra good fat in there. And vitamin A is one of the things in butter that is so important for our bodies, for our brains, for our health, for our eyes. So folks, You're watching Ask Doc Live. I have gone over because I talk too much. But I love doing this and I love having you here with us. Thank you so much to my co-hosts, John T. McCollier, Dr. Judy Reynolds, Heather Bowen, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and the man who is the reason why we are all here today, Dr. Joel Wallach. Thank you. Thank you,
everybody. Love you guys and gals.
Everyone,
Bye-bye.
have a fabulous day. Get back with the person that invited you to this program. If you were not invited to this program, feel free to use the contact us at the website, askdoclive.com, or if you're part of our newsletter, reply to that newsletter and one of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you. My name is Rebecca Dukes, and I am honored to be the host of Ask Doc Live. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye.